Hargeet, let's jump right into it. And again, folks, your opinion matters. So if you have something to say, whether it be positive or negative, throw into the chat. Again, we're here to have a conversation. This is a conversational podcast, and right now there's a lot going on in the gaming industry. Like I said earlier, the gaming industry is topsy turvy. Yes, there's a lot of money being made on no life in games, meaning the ones that are free to play. Your Call of Duty War Zones, your Fortnites. Marvel Rivals has exploded on the scene, and people are playing it. They've stopped playing all their other stuff. Apex Legends is still a thing. So the industry is trying to figure out how to not only bring new IP, because that's the other hard thing. You think it's easy to drop a new IP that kind of looks like an older IP that has like story, elements that you would like. Like, for instance, like if you saw a PlayStation type of game, right? They have like a very movie aesthetic to them. They're very eye pleasing to me. I very much enjoy them. We don't see many of those outside of, Sony. Now, there are a few, but bringing new IP is dangerous because if you don't sell it, you're going to go out of business. And what happened last year? We saw so many studios close. We saw so many people lose their jobs. So Microsoft, Hargeet, seems to be the one company that is adjusting for the future. Right now, you have said this. I think so many times you should probably should get a quarter every time someone says it. But you are a firm believer in market disruption. You think it's necessary for business to grow, right? That has already happened with Xbox Game Pass, right? That started in 2017, and as they've done many times before, Hargeet, Xbox has disrupted business as usual. Well, they're at it again. And why they're doing it is not only to sustain them being a $3 trillion company, but to make justification for a $70 billion investment in Activision, Blizzard, and King. Now, they are making money hand over fist. Do not be swayed by the console sales. Console sales are done because they've told you can play your games everywhere, and people are buying games. That's why they're up in software and services and not in hardware, because you can play your games everywhere. But Hargeet, the question of the night is this new market disruption, this new multi-platform strategy hurting or helping Xbox, and could it actually bring some well-needed recognition to the brand?
It's tough to tell at this point, right? Like, there are a couple of paths this could take, right? A while ago, I had warned if they go down this path without doing some other things, it would disrupt their ability to attract third parties, right? Because you would get dwindling amount of consoles as far as the install base, right? So that becomes a bit of a challenge. However, here are the things to mitigate that. First, if your first party is so expansive, it won't matter, right? Because you have so many games of your own, a la Nintendo, you can just sustain yourself, right? So people will just come to your platform because, you have games. That's one path. And that path is starting to kind of, go on its up ramp now, right? We're starting to get a lot of stuff that just keeps coming, and it's going to keep going. The other thing you could do is use the fact that you're Microsoft and use that superpower you have called Windows and say, well, gee willikers, I can just use Windows on my Xbox. Once you do that, you make that step, then it just doesn't matter, because nobody's going to say, I'm not going to put my game on Windows. They're going to do it. All the third parties are going to go to Windows. Once that happens, you say, well, gee, I can just use the game that's there, right? I can just take that store and say, here it is. Oh, you want that game that PlayStation put out? Okay, fine, no problem. Here it is. Right? It just doesn't matter. At that point, it's all over, because now you have all the games of the entire PC library available to you. So those are the two things. If they did those things, it eliminates the problem altogether, right? So now the console becomes just really whatever device you want that runs Windows or happens to be Xbox, whatever that means, right? This is an Xbox. That's an Xbox. It just doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to label it as an Xbox. The PC you buy and build, is an Xbox. The PC you get that happens to be certified as an Xbox is an Xbox. The box that Microsoft sells as an Xbox is an Xbox. Your LG TV is an Xbox. It just doesn't matter. At that point, it eliminates that problem because now it's the library of Windows, the library of your Xbox. And this is one of those things that Sarah said, right? Like backwards and forwards compatibility, right? So which means your library comes with you, right? That's one of those key features. So if that all happens, then it's irrelevant. I don't care where the games go. Why? Because at this point, it's really just feed Game Pass, right? So you saw some of the remarks from Satya, right? That, hey, even ABK, a little bit of a disappointment here, right? It didn't drive up those Game Pass numbers. Well, first, you haven't really put the Game Pass, like all the Activision games aren't in there yet. Right. So maybe you should kind of do that first before you start complaining. You haven't actually put those games in there. You've had like 5 games going in. So you might want to get the rest in there first. But fair enough, right? That was like, you're not going to get Call of Duty to be the one thing that's going to jump it to 100 million. If it jumped, it was apparently one of the biggest jumps, right? They said that. They were happy with the jump. So, like, good, cool. But it's not going to suddenly become 100 million subscribers. You need to keep doing it.
Right.
And they're continuing to do that. So we'll see if that keeps growing. There is also a reality. Gaming has kind of shifted. It's become a lot more about those live games than it is about the story games.
Right.
Game Pass is awesome if you want, story games, indie games. It gives you a ton of variety, but it's not like useful if all you're playing is Apex, if all you're playing is, Fortnite. Yeah, you can throw perks in, but what's the advantage? It's free to play. Just go play the game. So it's very hard to make that justification if all you do is play those games. Maybe you buy FIFA once every couple of years. Maybe you buy Call of Duty every year. Like, okay, do I really need to pay the money? A lot of people are going to do the calculus and say, nah, I'll just buy Call of Duty on sale. Okay, fair enough, right? And that's kind of the problem, right? If you want the player that likes to play a lot of different types of games, there may only be so many of those. And that's kind of where it is. Yes, there's probably still a runway there. They probably haven't reached their max. But it's also tougher to keep finding those people, right? Because at some point, it's just like, well, how many people really do that? How many people buy Stellar Blade? What was it, like a couple of million?
The last time that they actually reported it, they had, and again, folks, I've been looking for that number, and Sony's not talking about it. Neither is the studio. They reported they sold 1 million.
Yeah. So that's like your runway, right? That's your runway. The average game, you're not selling that many copies. So their target audience is just not that high, right?
Right.
You can have a runaway success in something like Cyberpunk or Black Myth Wukong. They happen every now and then. You get like a ridiculous amount. Hogwarts Legacy, ridiculous amount. Fair enough. But that's not every game. It's very few that hit that level. A lot of games, they're just not going to be attracting that many customers. So to even hit the 35, 40 million customers they have for Game Pass, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Now, if they could bump it up to like 80 or 100, that's insane.
Well, that's what they want to get to. By again, if you didn't know what Hargeet's referring to, there is an internal number that's made the rounds of being, public knowledge for them to consider Xbox Game Pass a success. They want to be at 100 million by 2030, which is a full 5 years away. They're at 40 something. I don't know exactly what the 40 is. Is it at 40? Is it 41? Is it 42? We'll know soon enough. But they did very well regarding their sub numbers. So please continue. I just wanted to clarify that. So
as far as the third party thing, putting it on Nintendo, putting games on PlayStation.
Yeah.
There's this person who we've also kind of just seen, Eli. He kind of was a PlayStation guy, and
yes,
his wife got him the Series X, and he's like, I was wrong. And like the thing that you see through that journey is like the discovery of those games that people on the other side just keep poo-pooing. It's like, but they're good though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So does that open it up to that? Maybe. Here's my potential pitfall to that. We say Sea of Thieves was a success at 1 million copies sold. To PS4 and PS5, say 140-ish million with some
That's
overlap,
not really
right?
a success. It's not.
So I'm seeing that as saying that's not a lot.
No.
When especially that thing did 40 million. I think it sold over 10 million copies just on Steam.
Yeah.
Right? So you're looking at a much larger install base on the Xbox and PC. Yeah, cool. They got 1 million more sales, but like, is that really a reason to say my exclusive Sea of Thieves is doing good over there? I don't know. I don't know what happens when you bring Halo over. Is it going to have a draw? Remember Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3. These are games that are 20-ish years old.
Right.
Are they really going to come in and say, oh, I'll spend $60 on that? I don't know. And first off, there's this massive hatred towards Xbox stuff on that side.
Yep.
Are they going to say, oh, I'm going to go spend that money? Maybe. Maybe not. Because remember, here, it's Game Pass. It's all just there. Right? You buy the console, you get Game Pass, and lo and behold, the entire library is available to you. Just download the game and play. This is a game that they put out in PlayStation Land. Didn't last 2 weeks. Do we really think they're going to play multiplayer games? Maybe, but I don't know. Right? We grew up on it. Halo was the game that established Xbox.
It did.
Right?
Yep.
We are that game. Right? That is the kind of game we look for. Gears of War, same kind of thing. Co-op, dude, bro, shooter. We're going on it together. We're going and playing, right? I don't know that that's kind of the DNA of that PlayStation player. I don't know that that's the DNA of the Nintendo player. So we'll see if it does numbers there or not. If there's some recognition of the property, that's cool. Is it going to help? I don't know. In some ways, you also say the player on this side of the aisle, the Xbox player, there are plenty that are going to be in their emotions to say, why are you doing this? You're taking away the identity of Xbox. In some ways, that's fair. Again, I don't think it matters as much because of the other mitigation factors, but there are going to be people pissed off. Are they going to jump ship? Well, people already have. I don't know how many will. I still say you get Game Pass, and that is a substantially awesome feature. Not to mention the ecosystem. Play anywhere, quick resume, smart delivery, on and on and on. All the cool things you get. The controller alone is worth it. But, hey, maybe that's not enough for you, and you decide, I'm pissed off, I'm going to go to Nintendo. I'm pissed off, I'm going to go to PlayStation. Okay, good for you. Right? I don't see it that way for me. Certainly, I don't care about PlayStation. Their controller for me is so horrible. My hands are like, what are you doing to me? So I can't play on that console anyway. But so I gave up on them. I play their games on PC.
On PC, where you can use an Xbox controller.
Exactly. So, but fine. For me, the console that I play on, I still keep playing on is Xbox. And to me, as long as there's a box, I'll just keep buying it. If that's not something you want to engage in, you want to pay $70 each time a game comes up, feel free. On the flip side of that, like if you're going to buy those Xbox games at full price, that just means more money in Microsoft's coffers, more money to get Game Pass games, more continuing revenue for the service, the brand, and potentially acquisitions of new stuff that goes into Game Pass. So for those who don't want to do this, but want to go down to a PlayStation, have fun. I'm okay with that. I don't care. For me, I know where I'm playing. As long as that thing is available to me, I'll keep playing. I'm already good for the Series X. That's probably going to last another decade before it gets shut down, right? The freaking Xbox One is still going.
Yep.
So the Series X will be good for a while. They're already telling me they have new hardware coming out in a couple of years. Cool. I'll be there. I'll play that on that as well. So I'm good for a while. After that, I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't know what kind of power things are going to happen on different devices and where gaming is going to be. So we'll see. As far as this third party thing, though, hearing what Satya is saying, like he's just looking for return on investment. And so getting as much revenue as they can, I kind of see it. I hope some of these games do well. I actually think the games they should focus on are not Halo and Gears. I think Forza would do well.
Yep.
I think Fable would do well. I think that's a
Fable
more
Fable would probably kill on
game.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is.
I think that's the kind of game they should have there. They don't really have a South of Midnight. Maybe they should have that. I like those action adventure games. That's really like the PlayStation DNA. I think they should think about those. Avowed, like those kind of games probably make more sense over there. Now people are going to say, oh, no, I don't want those. But this is the way it is. Just assume that everything's going to go. I'd prefer the games that I think they're going to make money on. I would like them to do that. Now, you can try Halo if you like. I just don't know. I just look at this and I'm like, they didn't even play their own game. It sold like 15,000 copies on PlayStation, like 25,000 total. Like that's how bad this went. It's like you can't like really say then, oh, there's a potential for success here. Sea of Thieves sold 1 million. Okay, but that's pretty low when you're talking PS4 and PS5. So
that's 100. I mean, just quick math, Hargeet. At last check, it was 118 million PS4s.
Yep.
And let's just for shits and giggles, folks, no arguments here. It's over 65 because of the holiday. It's probably closer to 70. So let's say there's 70 million PS5s in the wild between the standard, the slim, and the pro. Let's just say, for instance, it's 70 million. That's almost 190 million PlayStation.
But there's going to be some overlap, right? So let's say
there will be. Yeah, sure.
Are people who went up from 4 to 5, right? Fair enough, right? Correct. So I'll say like the 150 million consoles. Let's say around there.
Square, yeah.
A lot of consoles. And let's say they do 2 million in sales, 3 million in sales. That would be successful. That'd be awesome. That's good. But we will see if it actually happens, right? So I'm a little concerned about that, especially considering a lot of people on the other side, the Xbox side, will have emotional feelings about it, right? That, hey, you're putting the game Xbox is defined by Halo on the other side. Fair enough. I can't take away some of these emotions about it. All I can say is it's not going to end anything. You're still able to play your game. It's fine. But that's what they want to do. They want to sustain their business. So but I hope they do well. I really do. I hope it does well over there. But as far as this third party thing, I think in a lot of cases it makes sense. In cases where it matches the player base, they should do it. In the cases where it doesn't match the player base,
they shouldn't do it. Yeah.
I don't know if it matters. Like, keep doing the tests, but like Hi-Fi Rush, for instance, failed. But then again, it's Hi-Fi Rush. It's a niche thing. Not a lot of people are going to play that kind of game. Pentiment. Who is going to buy that anyway? It is what it is. That is a Game Pass creation. It could only exist because of Game Pass. And thankfully it did, because I love the game. I thought it was great.
Phenomenal game.
It's a very, very, very small niche player base for that game, right? Grounded, I thought was great. I don't know how well that did, but thankfully it was in Game Pass and a lot of people gave it a chance on this side. But Grounded was great. But again, I don't know how many people bought it, right? So I hope it does well. Has it come out on Switch? I don't know if it even came out on Switch yet. But
what's that?
Grounded. But if
I don't know, I think Grounded might have. What they didn't get was Sea of Thieves, which would probably launch with the Switch too.
So I don't know how well that did, but that hopefully did well. But the thing is that it's a multiplayer game. It's not the kind of thing you usually see on the other side. So I think those games that are like South of Midnight, like Avowed, those would probably do well over there. I think they should, look at those. No, they can stagger it and say it's a year, 2 years, 3 years away. Fine, right? Indiana Jones. I hope that does well over there. I hope, right? Because that seems like a game that would do well on PlayStation. So, but hey, we'll see. We'll see how it does.
Well, you got to remember that community complained about getting nauseous playing in first person. So I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but we will definitely see. Look, Hargeet, you're knocking it out of the park with your thoughts and your theories. I think that we all just have to understand Microsoft is taking all the arrows, Dave, because they're doing something different and they're doing something first. And the problem that we all seem to forget is how expensive it is to make games. And not that it should matter to us, because it shouldn't. We are consumers. We pay for a service. We get a game in service. We play it. We want a box. We buy that box and we play the games on that box. The problem is you got to remember, and I really want to clear this up regarding the third party stuff. Their third party initiative. I don't like it, but I also understand it. And even though it's a foreign thing for old guys like me, that grew up in a different era where games stayed where they were, the issue at hand here is that yes, Xbox has this amazing service, and instead of the one or two games at 76.43 that the casual buys, whether that be on PC or on Xbox, they get them for $240 a year because the value is inherent, right? You're paying your $20 a month and they're getting all of these games. They're getting Indiana Jones, they're getting Starfield, they're getting Forza, they're going to get all of these new games that are coming out this year. I think why, and again, this solely goes on the lack of vision from whoever's running Xbox Game Pass. And I know people from Microsoft are listening, and I hope that you listen to me good on this one. Your problem that I think is going on is that you're looking at someone's class history record and what doctrine or piece of paper they have because they went to business school. That's not who should be running the ship. And that's the biggest problem. Look past your nose. Game Pass I shouldn't have to sell Game Pass for them. You shouldn't have to sell Game Pass for them. Microsoft has been failing at this for quite some time. This isn't a new topic, folks. Their way of doing advertising for Game Pass is horrendous. And I don't know if they're going to get a chance to fix it. If they do get someone in there that actually can see past the piece of paper they have hanging on their freaking wall and actually knows how to go and do some handshaking and kissing some babies, maybe you'll get more people to get into to invest in Game Pass, because quite frankly, it is one of the greatest services in entertainment. Think about this. What entertainment service that gives you as much as Game Pass? There isn't any, folks. Whatever you're paying for your Disney Plus, your Netflix. Netflix is what? For the better version, it's almost $30 a month now. And you don't have any of these these films. You literally go and you watch a film and you can go back and watch it anytime you want. Different thing with what Xbox is doing. But look, I regress. Dave, let's get into the question at hand here. You heard what Hargeet had to say. He had a lot of dynamite points. Is the multi-plat strategy hurting or helping Xbox? And could it actually bring recognition to a brand that is in third place?
So I'm with you, and I believe Hargeet that correct me if I'm wrong, Hargeet, that as far as the old guy in me, do I like that these games are going to other platforms? I mean, no, I don't. I mean, I don't want Halo on a PlayStation because that, to me, it almost sounds sacrilegious, But like you also said, Boom, I understand. Was it Everborn says it's not show friends,
it's
show business. Yeah, and it's a business. It really is, and I get it. But what they're doing now, and we can say, well, people saying, well, as of today, there's 4 titles that are released, and another 2 that we know are definitely coming to PlayStation. The Indiana Jones and the Doom game for sure. But these other ones are still, until they're officially announced, are speculation until they happen. They're just rumors until it happens. Now, granted, we have a good authority. A lot of these stuff is going to happen, but it's not the whole slate. It's not possible, and it's not all at once. It's not like tomorrow, floodgates open. no reason to have an Xbox. That's bullshit, people. That's just crap. That is fanboy ponies that just want you. They want the world to burn, and I am not jumping in that bonfire. Sorry, folks, not gonna happen. It's just it's not. It's there is so many reasons to stay with Xbox, and one that PlayStation doesn't have any games, so they have two big announced games and no roadmap for what's coming out this year yet. That's first party.
They have a roadmap for movies, though.
Yeah, for movies.
Movies, anime, and film. You also have a car. Don't forget about the car.
You're right.
And remember, there's a PlayStation concert tour. Definitely.
Oh, that's right. The big concert tour that's selling out all over America.
Concert tour.
Oh, it's not selling out. Ooh.
Oh.
Look at those numbers. Not so good there. Yeah, sorry. It's not like John Williams is playing. Just saying. That would be a concert to go see. But no. So it's just boom. It's I think it's going to happen. It's going to come around. And I like I said, I don't like it, but the big thing is, and the big takeaway, and I'm rambling, sorry. This is going to be good for Microsoft, which is, if you're a Microsoft fan, you're a fan of Game Pass, is good for all of us who are fans of Game Pass, because more revenue, more reinvestment, more things that they're going to do to make this service even bigger and better than ever. At one time, like we all talked about, Netflix started off as DVDs. Then he went DVDs and digital. Then they pretty much, DVDs, let's just go digital. And they're like, what can we do to be even bigger? Let's make our own products. Let's make our own shows, as well as the other great movies and stuff that they got. And that's when they really started taking off. Now, at first, they had some hurdles. They had some shows that weren't great. And then they have a couple that were fantastic, a couple of really great series, and then they fucking canceled them. It's like, what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Mindhunter is one of the best shows ever made, but I digress. Only 2 seasons, and it should have been like 12. So, but the point is, growing pains. They're getting there, and Microsoft is getting there, and they are how many trillions of dollars? Hargeet? How many? Is it $3 trillion company? Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, and people are saying, oh well, they gave up on this, they gave up on that. They're. I still wish there was a mobile phone as well, but it's not. I know, Boom, you still have your was it the Zoom?
The Halo 3 Zoom. Yeah, I still got it.
It was awesome. I love that thing. But it just didn't click because the competition stuff was different. But Microsoft isn't giving up on consoles. They're doubling down on consoles. And from what we're understanding is, it could be the most powerful system to date is what we're going to be getting in the future. And it's probably going to come at a cost. So it's not going to be super cheap. So it won't be for everybody. But Game Pass is for everybody, no matter what device you play on.
Yeah, and
that's the thing.
Point.
If you have PC, if you have your handheld, because this handheld, I think it's going to be reasonably priced, at least to the point to where it'll be in line with most other handheld devices. Right. I believe at least it'll be that. And if those can sell at that price, something with Nintendo or something with Microsoft on it can definitely. I get in the corner. I got the whole. I guess what do you call it? Watching for any kind of update from Nintendo. Nothing happens yet, folks. So just so you know, no announcements yet, or no pending announcements. So relax. It's coming, maybe, hopefully. Who knows? But yeah. So I think it's really good that Microsoft is doing what they're doing, because what they're doing now is going to build the brand even stronger and better. And I believe that there is things in place as it keeps going. There's more and more people are discovering, like this guy that Eli, I think it is.
Yeah.
And there are more and more people that are coming around to this idea that this isn't such a bad thing. This isn't a bad thing, even though the way it came around, it was kind of a surprise. Where not everybody's going to come out this way. But the more and more things work out for us, the more and more that they're going to be, There's going to be boxes that come out with the Xbox, with the Call of Duty and Fortnite bundle and all these things that are happening and that are doing. The more those things start getting assigned with those, and people know those, I think that's going to be beneficial. And Game Pass is bigger numbers than they're letting on now, and it's bigger than most people believe, and it is growing and going to continue to grow, especially the more Call of Duty year after year. Call of Duty's coming out. There's more things that are coming, and all these other, there's so many announcements and things. I mean, let's face it. Boom Hargeet has we've heard rumors about things that are going to be in the pipes for this year alone, and if even half the stuff that we've heard is in the pipes comes out, your audience and other people that are gamers, that are hardcore gamers, are going to shit their pants.
Yeah, indeed.
It's
first of all, I'm having a hard time keeping up with what's been released already, and we haven't even started with the onslaught of games. Yeah. Again, great stuff, Dave. And thanks, I just want to add some additional context to why this multi-platform strategy is happening. You got to remember that how many games do you think are released a week? Like whenever you go to Xbox Live, there's 100 games.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, in a week's time, in a month's time, there could be 200 games on the list, right? That's the same thing for PlayStation. It's worse for Steam. You might get 300, 500 games a month. And everyone is trying to take your money. Buy my game, buy my game. Do you know how many games come and go with not even a sale? Because there are just too many of them. This is why the Game Pass route is great for small studios. This is why third-party studios, second-party studios, indies want to be on Game Pass, because Microsoft invests $1 billion per year to get games in that service from third-party, second-party, and indies. Sony, I mean, just look at the last couple of quote-unquote big Sony exclusives. Rise of the Ronin sold 1 million copies. Is that a success? Well, I guess I beholder. Stellar Blade, 1 million copies. Is that a success? I don't think so. I mean, 1 million of anything is a big deal. What about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? How disappointed was Square Enix to the point where they were literally like, "Hey, we're going to be putting Final Fantasy everywhere, and anywhere there's something that can start something electronic, right? Like they're going to put it here, there, and everywhere." And they have gone out of their way more times in the last couple of weeks to let you Xbox gamers know that moving forward, Final Fantasy games, day and date, no more deals. Why do you think that is? Because instead of having a service, which Sony has PlayStation Plus Premium, but is it really premium? Like I saw people losing their minds because Ragnarok is finally going into the service. I mean, that's an everyday occurrence for Xbox. A new game comes out first party in the service. Not 3 years later, not 2 years later. Now when the next God of War is going to come out, whenever that may be, they'll do what they did with Spider-Man and they'll pull it out so you can go and buy it again. So you got to remember, these companies, no one is Nintendo but Nintendo. That's why we don't even bring them up in conversation, because they are so walking to their own beat of their own drum that they don't play by the rules of PlayStation and Xbox. They don't. They are releasing an underpowered console that I'm going to go buy 3 of. It has the power of the PlayStation 4 Pro. That is how powerful this thing is going to be in handheld mode. A PS4 Pro. That's what they're releasing, and I can't wait to get my hands on it, right? Because I'm a Nintendo freak.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Everyone's going to go out and buy it. But see, Nintendo, they're going to do their own thing. That's why, even though I like Dave, like Hargeet, like many people in this chat right now, I don't like the idea of legendary IP like Halo, Gears, and Forza going over to PlayStation. But the reality is we want Xbox to live and we want to keep getting fed in Xbox Game Pass. They need to interject market disruption. Something that Hargeet has notoriously said a billion times and gotten nothing for it. Right? Market, when you disrupt the market, you shake things up. That is what Xbox is doing. That's what they did with Game Pass, and that's what they're going to do with their multi-platform. I don't like it, but I also like paying less. Well, I mean, I don't pay $20 a month, but if I had to pay $20 a month, let's say, for instance, that there was no place to go get these deals. Let's say CD keys went away. I would pay my $20, not with a smile on my face, because of the amount of games that you're getting in there. It's unbelievable. But look, great way to open up the show. Everyone in the chat's been really good with one another. Like I said, there's been some people in there that are really, you're in your feelings. I get it. Like, for instance, a guy that's always here, RHB for life. Welcome, brother. Great to see you here. He asked a question. Why do we assume that all PlayStation fanboys want Xbox games to come over there? What if they start to boycott the games? Then what? I mean, you got to remember, see, the thing is, as hardcore guys and gals, we equate for about, on our best day, on the best day in the universe, we make up 15% of the market. 15%. That's the highest best you could imagine. The Xbox fanboy, the PlayStation fanboy, that's all we get, 15%. And that's an inflated number. It's much lower than that. It's probably somewhere around 9%, maybe on a good day, 10%. We the casual gamer is what drives PlayStation. It's the cool system. It's the system that everyone has.
Brand recognition.
What's that?
Brand recognition.
Brand recognition, indeed. That's why this move might do some number justice for Xbox, because people will start to learn, like Bruv, the guy you're talking about, Elliot. His wife, just surprised him with an F Series X, and the guy can't stop talking about it. He got 10,000 videos out. All he's talking about is, I can't believe I skipped on Halo. I can't believe I skipped on Forza. I can't believe I skipped on Gears of War. What was I thinking? And I think Dave's onto something. That might, maybe not going to be. You might get 10 million bruvs, but you're gonna get people that are gonna look over and say, well, I'm not gonna leave PlayStation, but damn, that Fable looks good. That South to Midnight, that kind of looks like a PlayStation game. So we will ultimately see.